Hey, welcome back to the Midday Q&A. I am your host, the Duckman. We're back today with a bunch of questions, so if you've got any questions for me, now's the time to ask them. And you guys have been really good about streaming these questions into me, and I've been answering them just about every day when I get enough of them to be able to create about a 10-minute video. So today's going to be no different than that. I'm going to be running out a little while to go see Marvel's new movie. What the hell's it called? Captain Marvel, as a matter of fact. And I'm excited to see it, although the reviews are all over because Brie Larson was spouting out some stupid crap. I don't know, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and talk about that kind of stuff on this channel because that's not what we're about over here. But one of the things that happened to me today, after I had taken out little Ruby here and went to go set up my P.O. box, which we're going to give out the address to that today, I came home and my garbage can was missing. And I remember last week we had that very undramatic dumping of the garbage when the garbage man came and took it with the truck. This week when I returned home, the can was completely gone. The first thing I thought was, maybe I pissed off the garbage man and he called somebody out to come take the can away. The cans are actually provided by the county. They're part of the water and garbage program, and your community is probably very similar to that. But first thing I thought, is that they took it for some reason. I pissed somebody off and they took it away. Or perhaps I didn't pay the bill. But then I started thinking, I just paid the bill on it, like a couple weeks ago, and I don't think I made anybody angry. So let's go ahead and check my security camera footage. So I knew that was going to be fun. So anyway, I watched a whole day's worth of footage from the time that I had left the house until about 15 minutes before I got home, and I actually just missed this happening. After reviewing the footage, the first thing I saw was the garbage man made the pass to the north, as he always does. He makes a U-turn and he comes down and handles the other side of the street. As he was coming down, he picked up my garbage can, and not from the middle, how that clasp is supposed to work. It's supposed to grab at the lip of the trash can and then lift it up and over. He grabbed it from the bottom. Now, it's tapered downwards like an ice cream cone with a squared off bottom, but it's tapered like an ice cream cone, and at the bottom is the wheels. So if you grab it in that center section, the wheels, which are flared out, are going to stop it from slipping through that claw as it flips it up and over. Well, he grabbed it from the wheels, and he lifted it on up, and it slipped right out and went right down into the truck. So after about, I'm thinking about 20 or so seconds, he lowered the arm back down, and he clearly saw the can was gone. So he gets on out of the truck and hops into the bin on the back. Disgusting. But I guess he felt he didn't want to feel stupid. But he went in the bin to go get it, and he's digging around in there, and he hops back out and gets back in the truck and drives away. I don't know, maybe the can got crushed, or maybe it got, somehow messed up, or maybe he couldn't get it free for some reason. They are kind of heavy, and maybe there's a possibility he just couldn't get it out of there. Anyway, my can is gone. And, he didn't leave a note or anything to let me know what's going to happen next. I don't know what was going to happen with that, but you see me walking out to the street 15 minutes later when I get home looking around like an idiot, where the hell's my trash can? And I couldn't figure out what I did. I thought I did something wrong. I really did. Well, anyway, it wasn't me. So I thought you guys would enjoy that. I mean, I think it was kind of funny. So anyways, please like, comment, subscribe, plug that dingle belly, and we'll be back right after the intro with the rest of today's questions. So anyways, yes, I have a brand new P.O. box, and no, I'm not going to give it out in the video. And the reason why I'm not going to say it in the video is because I can't go back and edit this video. If I do put an address in this video, I'm going to have to take it down later because somebody might try to mail to that address, and there's a possibility, like I said, I could be at a different address by then. So anyways, if you'd like to get my address, what you got to do is you got to go down to duckshit.net, and it's going to load my website. And you'll see some links there for a few different things. One, to take it to Patreon. It'll be a display of all my information, contact information, yada yada. It's the very preliminary version of my website. So you can see some of the stuff that I've got there, and you can find some of the other social media platforms that I'm on. Should make it a whole lot easier for you. If you would like to email me in the future, there will actually be a little interface for that just the same. With that said, hope you guys send me something that I can feature in the video. It'll be kind of cool. And of course, whatever it is you send out, make sure that I know who you are so I can give you a proper shout out. If you got a YouTube channel or something, let me know. We'll go from there. Something additionally to happen today, while I was out running the P.O. box, I went to make a deposit and went to the bank with 2 checks. And it was kind of a funny thing because as I was digging through my car, I knew that I had lost one of my checks to one of my customers. Not a big deal. They gave me another check and I went on my way, and I told them if it turned up, I would give it back to them. You know, rather than just telling them it was destroyed, let's not worry them and actually hand it back to them, and that's what I did. But as I was digging underneath the seat where it turned up, I found another check from the same customer from an earlier date, and still recent, but an earlier date, and I went, damn, I thought I deposited that, and that's not like me to, you know, lose money. Really weird. Anyway, I went and checked my deposit list. I went back a couple months, and it wasn't there, so I didn't deposit at all. But anyway, I went past D&D Cycles. It was actually one of theirs, and I made sure that, you know, there wasn't going to be a problem on the account, that the check hadn't been voided, and it wasn't going to bounce because they had canceled it or something else. And nope, everything was all good, so I ran off to the bank and deposited it. And just down the street from there was the P.O. Box office, so that was a really nice and convenient place to have a P.O. Box. So that's how we got that set up today. Well, I got to ask a couple other questions. Have I ever been in a old classic Volkswagen in a wreck? And the answer is no, I have not, including my motorcycles. I mean, even on motorcycles, you know, I mean, I've had a wipeout and a spill. I've fallen down like any other motorcyclist would. But have I ever had a wreck? No, I've never had a wreck. Well, I should more correctly put it, I have never had a vehicular accident, okay? I did have somebody once that was completely suicidal. I was, I think 16, 17 years old, and actually I got hit with the blame for it by the police because I was a brand new driver, but we'll get back to that again in a second. The guy that hit me actually steered across 3 lanes of traffic and then did just skids as he tried to stop to hit me. What happened with me, I was at a red light and the light turned green. I waited for the cars to proceed and I made a left-hand turn. I was free and in the clear, but the guy was coming from the opposite direction, coming from a dark section of town, and I still don't know why the hell he did it. Nobody really knows. And the reason why we don't know is because there was actually a big court case about this thing. You know, what did I do wrong? I even received a ticket for it and the whole works. But as soon as we got to court, the guy didn't show. He just didn't show. I mean, he had to have been suicidal. Everybody was saying the guy was driving in a straight line. All of a sudden, he veered way off to the right and, you know, just skid marks and slammed right into the back of this huge Ford van that I was driving. And I think it was a 1984 Econoline or something, the biggest panel van that they had, along with the extension that they weld onto the back of these things. I mean, the thing was just massive. He drove his little, I think he had a Sundance or something into the back of it. I mean, he just barely grazed me. I mean, he just barely. He went like kind of under the bumper. I mean, totaled his car. Smashed up one of the fenders. The radiator was all busted open. The top of the engine was all mashed up. The hood was an accordion. The windshield was busted. That car was fucking totaled. Anyway, the first thing I did when I got out of the car is run up to him because he didn't get out. And I popped his door open and I looked to the sky because all the white dust or smoke or whatever the hell it is that comes out of the airbags just went flying everywhere. And he just kind of turned and looked at me like that in a complete daze. Anyway, the ambulance and everything were there, and cops showed up, and they did all the paperwork on it, and I never exchanged a word with him because he was just completely catatonic. And like I said, I don't know if it was from the wreck or if he was just a complete mutant. But everybody was suggesting he was suicidal, and the fact that he did not show up on the court date, everything got defaulted. I won the case. All the witnesses that were there and everything, even my lawyer was there. I mean, we took pictures of the skid marks. I mean, just we had the whole works. And we won that case. So as I said, I have never actually been in an accident. That was actually a deliverance, and there was really no avoiding that one. I was way committed to the turn. In fact, I was almost completely through the turn when he came across 3 lanes of traffic and turned right into me and just hit me. So anyways, yeah, that was the only wreck that I've ever been in. As I said, there's no accident. Of course, it was no fault of my own, but there was no avoiding that. No matter what car I would have had, I would not have been able to get away from that one. The insurance, by the way, put me 5% at fault. And I thought, you know, how am I at fault at all? And the insurance people said, well, you were driving today, weren't you? Yeah, well, there's your 5%. Another question that I get asked quite often is, hey, Duckman, you know, have you ever been pulled over in a Volkswagen? And interesting story is I haven't been pulled over in over 10 years, and I mean, I've done some really stupid shit. But when it comes to stupid shit and skill, you know when and where to do it, and you know how not to get caught. The last time I got it was actually because of my sticker, and you guys have seen me do that before. I actually forgot to put the damn registration expiration sticker on my license plate of the 350Z. And at the time that happened, and as I was getting pulled over, I was actually turning onto Ranchero 302, If you know Ranchero 302 Me, you need to subscribe to him, by the way. He was having a party, and he invited me over to his house. So I'm on the way over to his place, and I had to turn onto his street. And on that street that I had to turn onto, and remember I mentioned I had a stalker problem, well, she lived down the other end of the street, and I deliberately took the long way to not go down that end of the street to pass her house. I don't want anything to do with that. But in order to get to his house, his party, I had to take the long way around. Well, anyway, I got pulled over on that street, and the first thing I thought was she saw me, she did something, you know, I mean, my mind is just running a million miles an hour, and the cop tells me, or asks me, do you know why I pulled you over today? I said, no. And she goes, your registration is expired. I said, no, it's still current. And she said, no, it's expired. I said, well, you know, I've got the new decal right here. And she looks at me and she goes, well, why is it not on the car? I said, you know, I forgot, you know, not a big deal. And she goes, well, you need to get it on there because the registration is expired this month. And then the light bulb went off over my head. Hang on a second here. Hang on a second. The registration expires on my birthday. The old sticker did say 9 of, I think it was 2007 or 8. I mean, we're going on over 12 years ago. So technically, because it was still early in September, the old sticker was not expired yet. So she told me, no, it expires on the 1st of the month. So I grabbed the renewal document that I had, which, by the way, is a government document. It comes from the state. And I showed her the print where it says, expires on your birthday. All of a sudden, she changed her tune. Just changed her tune, completely dropped it, changed her tune, and she sees Skeeter sitting on a seat. Oh, what do you have there? Yeah. Sure. Just trying to assert her power, and I guess, you know, when you're a cop, you can do that. But yeah, she actually lost that one. But that was the last time I was pulled over. That was about 12 years ago. The last time I was pulled over before that was in 2005 when I first bought the 350Z. I didn't have any experience driving it. I didn't own a rear-wheel drive car prior to that, especially when it had 300 horsepower. And I had to pull out into 5 p.m. rush hour traffic, and I had to make a left-hand turn, crossing many lanes of traffic to get out that way. I romped the throttle. I got on it, and I pulled out, and I ended up fishtailing a little bit as I pulled out, and up over the hill behind me came a state trooper, and he pulled me over. And, you know, that's fine. I know exactly what I did. I know where I went wrong. So anyway, he looks like he was all of about 17 years old. I mean, he didn't even have a shave. He had no peach fuzz, nothing. Probably weighed all of about 100 pounds. But, you know, he put on his shit kicker glasses and tipped his hat way forward on his head, you know, so you could barely see his eyes. You know, he looked like he was a tough guy, even though he was, well, probably just barely over 18 years old. But yeah, he was a cop, you know, so you got to respect him. And he comes up to me and he says, this is a nice car. I said, thank you. He said, you know why I pulled you over? I said, yeah. I said, I know exactly what I did. I said, I pulled out and I got a little squirrely. He says, why did you do that? I said, well, I had to get out in a hurry and just needed to pull out in traffic. I said, it was my opportunity and I had to go, and I had to go quick. I just got this car last week and I wasn't expecting it to do that. His question was to me, did you floor it? And my answer was, no, I didn't even have to. So anyway, he just hands me back my license, didn't even walk back to the car for a check. And he said, just take it easy next time and, you know, make sure you don't hurt anybody. Okay, that was it. Anyway, the last time I got pulled over before that was many, many years before. I don't even remember, so it's not even worth talking about. But yeah, I try to stay out of trouble, really. I stay out of trouble. I try not to do anything too dangerous, and if I'm going to do something that's going to be kind of stupid or at least brazen, I'm going to do it out in the countryside where there is nobody else on the road and, you know, have my little fun. Anyways, I hope that answers your questions. If you've got any, please ask away. This is my midday Q&A, and I try to answer your questions every day, whatever you might ask. I mean, anything you might ask, as long as it's not too assy. And even the assy ones, if they're legitimate, I'll still be glad to answer them. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want my mailing address to my P.O. Box, hit up duckshit.net. You'll find it over there. And thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.